They enjoy saying it every year in their economic surveys. Burkina Faso is the poorest country, Mali is the poorest country, Niger is the poorest country. We are ranked among the last.
Imagine a country where more than 30,000 ordinary citizens, equipped only with brooms, wheelbarrows, and unwavering determination, accomplished something truly remarkable. This wasn't a political protest or a charity drive. It was a national effort that reshaped the very foundation of a nation. This is the powerful, real-life story of Burkina Faso, one of Africa's most economically challenged countries, where citizens came together to clean streets, schools, hospitals, and public spaces. In doing so, they helped chart a new course for their country's future. It's a story rooted in national pride, unity, and community-driven transformation, sparked by a compelling call to action from a visionary leader. Welcome to Heroic Fable, a platform that honors everyday individuals who rise to meet extraordinary challenges through courage, persistence, and collaboration. In September 2023, an inspiring movement swept across Burkina Faso, a landlocked West African nation often overlooked in international coverage. Over 30,000 people from all walks of life, farmers working the land, market vendors, educators, students, parents, and even members of the armed forces, set aside their daily tasks to pursue a shared and meaningful goal: to clean and rejuvenate their homeland. But this initiative was about more than just removing litter. It was a reclaiming of dignity, a display of solidarity, and a vision for a better future. The spark behind this unprecedented effort came from a heartfelt appeal by Burkina Faso's young president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. His message was clear and powerful. Burkina Faso belongs to all of us. It is our collective responsibility to care for, preserve, and elevate it. These words struck a deep chord with the people and set in motion a nationwide wave of action. What followed was truly historic. Citizens from all sectors embraced the call, not through obligation, but by choice. This was not a state-enforced initiative or a military-led campaign. It was a voluntary, citizen-led movement that embodied the spirit of Burkina Faso. Across towns and villages, communities organized swiftly and worked in unison, demonstrating the profound impact of collective effort and shared purpose. In every city, town, and rural village, people, men, women, and children, equipped themselves with basic tools: brooms, rakes, wheelbarrows, gloves, and garbage bags. Dust-covered streets and littered corners were swept clean. The crowded markets came back to life. Hospitals shone with new cleanliness. Schools sparkled with renewed pride, and neglected public spaces were brought back to life. For 7 straight days, the steady rhythm of sweeping, the clang of shovels, and the quiet hum of united effort replaced the usual sounds of daily routines. Communities that had long faced poor sanitation saw immediate and visible changes. Trash piles that had built up over the years, blocking drains and polluting water, were cleared away with resolve. Once clogged alleys became clean and walkable. Marketplaces, public squares, and local centers were restored, turning into places people could again gather with pride. But this campaign was more than just a cleanup. It sparked a deeper shift, changing attitudes, mindsets, and the national spirit. Cleaning became a symbol of ownership, a clear message that Burkina Faso's future rested in the hands of its own people. Health experts reported noticeable improvements linked directly to the campaign. Hospitals across the country saw a drop in diseases tied to poor sanitation, including diarrhea, cholera, and other waterborne illnesses. Medical workers welcomed the safer, cleaner environments, which made clinics better places for both staff and patients. In rural regions, many regained access to clean water that had long been polluted or abandoned, a change that had an immediate impact on daily life and public health. Elders, many with long memories of their towns, looked on in amazement as they watched their communities transformed. Some said they had never seen their villages this clean, or their people so united. The effort wasn't just about getting rid of garbage. It was about restoring hope, dignity, and a shared sense of responsibility. For the first time in many years, people saw the real power of working together toward a common purpose. Beyond health benefits, the campaign triggered a deep national pride that spread across the country. People realized they didn't have to wait for foreign aid, outside help, or government programs. Real change, they discovered, came from within, from their own efforts, values, and determination. And that change came with a lasting impact that reached beyond their borders. One of the campaign's most inspiring features was its inclusiveness and the range of leadership that emerged at the community level. Women, often the heart of their communities, led teams in markets, neighborhoods, and public areas. Their leadership showed the crucial role women play in driving progress. Young people, full of energy and purpose, formed teams in schools, playgrounds, and community spaces, turning the effort into a vibrant youth movement that energized others. Soldiers left their barracks not to patrol, but to join hands with civilians, showing a powerful moment of national unity. Religious leaders, community elders, and teachers lent their voices to boost participation. Imams, pastors, and traditional leaders described the cleanup as both a moral and spiritual duty, urging people to take part. Teachers built the initiative into their lessons, encouraging students to care for their surroundings. The result was a nationwide movement rooted in unity and shared effort, where everyone, regardless of age, gender, or background, had a part to play. Why did this movement matter so deeply? Because it represented people taking full ownership of their country, something rarely seen in today's world. It wasn't fueled by outside funding, charity, or international intervention. It was a stand for dignity, independence, and the belief that true progress doesn't depend on wealth. It depends on determination, leadership, and a common vision for improvement. The sanitation revolution proved that even a country facing economic difficulty could rise through the collective strength of its people. As the campaign grew, its influence began to spread beyond Burkina Faso. Visitors from neighboring countries like Ghana, Mali, and Niger came to witness the changes firsthand, impressed by the movement's scale and spirit. International development experts and public health leaders looked on with admiration. Some even suggested that Burkina Faso's Sanitation Week could serve as a model for other African nations battling waste and poor infrastructure. Sanitation infrastructure and public health had long presented significant challenges. Yet, a new initiative with a low-cost and high-impact model quickly gained global recognition, earning widespread praise as an example of sustainable, community-led transformation. The success of the campaign was so remarkable that President Captain Ibrahim Traoré took a bold step to secure its continued impact. The sanitation revolution would not conclude after just one impressive week. Instead, Burkina Faso introduced a monthly National Cleanup Day, an event where communities from across the nation would come together to maintain the gains they had made. This move shifted the campaign from a brief surge of enthusiasm to a consistent drive for systemic progress, ensuring that the collective spirit and sense of shared duty would persist. For millions in Burkina Faso, the initiative became deeply personal, embedding itself into everyday life. School children, moved by their involvement, wrote heartfelt essays about their roles in cleaning up their neighborhoods, describing a new sense of pride in their surroundings. Teachers shared stories of students who had never previously shown concern for their environment, but had now become passionate defenders of cleanliness and civic pride. Women, who were at the heart of the movement, composed songs honoring the volunteers' contributions. Songs that echoed in markets, villages, and communal events. Cultural groups developed dances to celebrate the unity and renewed cleanliness, turning the initiative into a powerful cultural expression that resonated across age groups. Religious leaders portrayed the cleanup as a sacred responsibility, blessing the efforts as both spiritual and civic obligations. In mosques, churches, and traditional ceremonies, they spoke of the effort as a reflection of faith, community values, and care for the land. These personal and cultural contributions elevated the sanitation revolution beyond a basic cleanup effort. It evolved into a national awakening, a renewed understanding of what it means to be a citizen working toward a better future. At the center of this transformation was the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, whose role was both inspiring and deeply engaged. His speeches, broadcast via radio and television, reached millions and stirred strong emotional and civic responses. Yet, it was his visible presence and direct participation that made the greatest impact. Rather than remain distant in the capital, he actively joined cleanup teams, working side by side with farmers, vendors, and students in the streets. This approach to leadership inspired the nation, illustrating that change must be driven at every level, from the highest office to the everyday citizen. His involvement encouraged many others to join, sending a clear message that leadership is defined by action as much as by words. The world took note of Burkina Faso's achievement. Media reports from neighboring countries such as Ghana, Mali, and Niger highlighted the grassroots nature of the campaign, with some African leaders privately acknowledging that they could learn from Burkina Faso's experience. European development experts praised it as a clear case of effective, sustainable change achieved through community engagement and minimal financial resources. Burkina Faso's sanitation movement stands as a powerful example of what communities can achieve when they come together. It shows that even the most basic tools, a broom, a rake, a wheelbarrow, can drive meaningful transformation when used by a united and committed people. During his closing address for Sanitation Week, Captain Ibrahim Traoré expressed the heart of this movement with words that left a lasting impression. We may not possess the riches of the world, but we have hands to work, hearts to care, and hope to inspire change. That is more than enough to rebuild our nation. His message became more than just words. It became a unifying call. It reminded everyone that Burkina Faso's real strength doesn't lie in material wealth, but in the willpower, endurance, and collective spirit of its citizens. At Heroic Fable, we believe stories like this must be shared. Heroes aren't limited to movie screens, graphic novels, or history books. Sometimes they're everyday people, farmers, mothers, teachers, students, and children, who choose to act, picking up a broom and reshaping their country's future. These are ordinary individuals whose steady, intentional efforts lead to remarkable results. So, what can we learn from Burkina Faso's sanitation initiative? It demonstrates that while leadership sets the direction, true power rests with the people. Real change often begins with the smallest acts carried out by regular citizens. A country's true measure isn't its riches, its natural resources, or global stature. It's the strength, perseverance, and unity of its people. This story reminds us that transformation is possible, even in difficult circumstances, when people unite behind a shared goal. This isn't only Burkina Faso's story, it's a message for everyone. Change starts wherever you are, in your neighborhood, your classroom, your workplace, or your home. You don't need official approval, major funding, or a detailed roadmap. You just need to believe your actions count, because they do. If the people of Burkina Faso can come together and renew their nation using nothing but determination and simple tools, then what small action can you take today to uplift your own surroundings? Because real heroes don't wear costumes or have superhuman powers. They carry brooms, push wheelbarrows, and hold fast to the belief that a better future is possible. They are the everyday changemakers who act, who don't wait for permission, and who move forward step by step. If this story moved you, please like this video, share it with those around you, and subscribe to Heroic Fable, where every brave act becomes a story worth sharing. Let's recognize and celebrate the everyday heroes of Burkina Faso, and remind the world that real strength resides in the hands of ordinary people. Let's carry their message forward by making a difference where we live, however we can. Thank you for watching, and remember, change always starts with you. Input. Observers from the United Nations described it as a replicatable, low-cost model for civic engagement, one that could be adapted to other regions facing similar issues. So, what does this story truly illustrate? It proves that meaningful transformation doesn't require massive foreign aid, international agencies, or high-praised consultants. Real change begins when people believe in their ability to shape their own future. It starts with the understanding that no outside force is coming to fix things, and that lasting progress is born when communities act together to build the future they want.